Let's go. Welcome to On the Attack with Mac, a podcast meant to inspire, motivate, and even educate you to go out there and win in life. I'm your host, Cornell Mac, and your boy is geeked up tonight because it is time to start up those grass cutting go-karts. And today we started our season off with a bang. Me and Captain Jack, I'm going to tell you about that. But before we get to all of that stuff, you know how this show goes if you watch it or listen to it often. And we always start with our live viewer shout outs, followed by our motivational minute, tell you who this week's winner of the week is. And then we're going to give you this week's word of the week from the LBCOG, Marcus Tate. But like I said, it's going to be a fun show tonight. Let me know, where are you watching from? If you are watching live, and if you want to be shouted out during the live viewer shout outs and you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you comment down below so that I can know that you're here. And if you are watching on Instagram, I appreciate you. We'll get to these live viewer shout outs in just a second. But like I said, it is time, and we are starting our grass cutting go-karts, at least here at Mac Landscaping and Lawn Care. Some of you may have started already, and some of you maybe have yet to start because maybe it's still snowing for you like it is for my man Rick up there in Wisconsin. My man CR Lawns, Wisconsin. Rick Schaefer up there got like a 2-foot snowstorm like last week or something. So it was wild. But unless you are dealing with some snow right now, we are all out here. It's right at the end of March. We're about to get into April. And it is going to be here in no time if it hasn't started for you yet. But let's get to the live viewer shout outs. We'll start over here on Instagram. We got GTG Lawn and Landscape in the building. Brad Edgington in the building. What's going on with you? Palmetto Turf Specialist. How are you? Brad Edgington is from Ohio. We got Lone Wolf Landscaping in the building. My man Willie the Grassman is in the building. Tommy Landscaping is in the building. He said, Kill Tony is on. Don't miss it. That's on Netflix. We can get back to that. Paul Meadow, Turf Specialist, says, hello, old friend. It's been a while. Been wide open since I went full-time last year. Good to be back here. It's good to see you again, Paul Meadow, Turf Specialist. And then over here on the YouTubes, we have CJ... CH Auto Repair from Virginia is in the building. We got Shotgun M2K in the building. He says it's been 65 plus for a week. Shout out to you, man. That's where it's at now. All right. That is where it's at now. And I'm excited about it. We got Alpha Lawn Care Plus. My man Tyler is in the building. He said, much love, man. Hope you are doing good. We're out here mowing. So are we. Let's go. Harold Wilson Jr., last week's win in Life Wednesday guest from Barryton, Kansas is in the building. Wilson Lawn Care, or Wilson Lawns LLC. My man Penn Brothers Lawn from my man Dave Penn is here in the building. Then we got WD Lawn Care out of Cincinnati. Says, you the man, Mac. I appreciate that, brother, but you the man, you or woman, whoever you are, I appreciate it. We got Logan's Lawn Care Services over here. That's Shotgun M2K over on YouTube. We got Aiden White 381 Premium Landscaping in the building. Aaron's Lawn Care LLC in the building. And like I said, it is a fun show. I appreciate all of our live viewers. I contemplate it. Should I call it live winner shout outs? All right. This is We the Win in Life family. So let me know down in the comments, or you can DM me at Mac_landscaping 412. Let me know, should we change it from live viewer shout outs to live winner shout outs? I want to know. The show is for you. What would you rather be called, a viewer or a winner? All right. Let me know down in the comments. But it is going to be a fun show. Now that we got some live viewers in here, and we shouted you guys out, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And we are a lawn care company in Western Pennsylvania who is excited to get back on these grass cutting go-karts. We got warm weather for the foreseeable future. Be taking the Salter out this week. And we were converting to full-on maintenance and getting ready for mulch. So I'm going to tell you how Captain Jack and I started off this mowing season, which was today. Today is Monday, March 30th at the time of this recording, 2026. And this was the first day for us. Our last day of the season will be November 23rd or something like that. So for the next 233 days or something, me and Captain Jack, Monday through Friday, will be getting after it, and it all started today. But let's get to this week's motivational minute. We got Mission Landscapes in the building. Palmetto Specialist is definitely winner. If you are here, you are winning every day. I appreciate that, man. That's what the show is all about, is sharing, whether it's on the attack with Mac and it's just me. Sometimes I might have a guest pop in quickly on this show, or if it's Winning Life Wednesday, where I actually interview other service business entrepreneurs, primarily lawn care people. Um, but we're all trying to win, and that's what I hope that you're here for. That is the actual goal of this, is to inspire. That's why we start out with basically an inspirational story with the motivational minute. Then I want to motivate you some, and that's why we give you some winners of the week to see who is out here winning in their life. It's not necessarily always business, but today our two winners have done some winning in business, and I'm excited to tell you about that. And then we want to give you a word of the week just to get you into your week. Have you have almost like a goal in mind on a good word that is going to be good to enrich your heart and your mind and your soul. And that's shout out to my man Marcus Tate for that. And then hopefully throughout the show, we can do perhaps some education for you. As I tell you how I run my business, I am a small business. Like I said, here in Western Pennsylvania, we do primarily lawn maintenance, but now we're going to be getting into some light, small landscaping jobs as we transition. But I'm going to tell you all about that today. But before we do that, we got to get to this week's motivational minute. And listen, I'm going to tell you a story. I have to tell you stories that actually happened to me. So I hope that it never seems like, oh, this guy's just talking about himself. I only live my life. I don't get to live yours. So the stories that I have are stories that happened to me, and hopefully they are relatable to you in some way. But this week's motivational minute is you're only one win away. All right. You are only one win away from changing everything in your life forever. So, whatever it is that you do, don't stop doing it, because it's just one more pick of that axe before all the diamonds fall upon you. Now, for me personally, my one win came 10 years ago, 2016, or yeah, 2016, June 16th, actually. And the reason I want to tell this story is because I started when the season had already gotten underway. We were already past the spring rush. And then my dumb behind decided I'm going to start a lawn care business right before a drought. All right. But you are only one win away. Okay. So I seen a video on the internet, and 2 weeks later, I had created a business not knowing what the hell I was doing. And for the first 2 years, it was a struggle. I was carrying lawnmowers up steps. I was doing yards that had bricks in them and shingles and nails and a dog poop before I knew that I didn't have to deal with that if I didn't want to. All right. Before I had any cool equipment or a nice truck, I call it a nice truck. It's just a regular run of the mill Ford XL 350. But before I had that and a trailer and the big Toro mowers and backpack blowers and all of that, I was just some dumbass guy who had a hope and a dream and was searching for that one win. Right. And you're only one win away, but you got to get started sometimes before you can see what the win is going to be. So when I seen that video, I got started. I told my wife I want to do this. I sold my car. I bought a shitty blue truck, and I got to it. You're only one win away. 2 years into the business of carrying lawnmowers up steps and hitting dog poop with string trimmers. And if you know, you know that is rough. I'm out there with Nike sweat shorts on and compression pants and cut off sleeves and all of that because I wanted to show my muscles from 10 years ago. But I had a dream, and it only takes one win. So 2 years into struggle bus, thinking I'm making money when I actually ain't. Paying people to do their yard, Basically, my prices were so damn low. I didn't know what I was doing, but you only need one win to change everything. And I knew that if I got this one contract, that my life would change forever. And so I tried 1 year, didn't get it. Tried a second year, didn't get it. But year three, we are one win away. And you need to pray. So I went to this new believers class and I found out through my own going back into my own brain and my own past, and I realized that I had never prayed for anything ever in my life and actually meant it. I didn't have any relationship with God, but now I had one. And so I decided I'm going to pray. I need one win to change everything in my life forever. But I got ADHD and I procrastinated a lot. So the first 2 years I waited out of fear because I was afraid to put a number on a piece of paper. I was afraid to know what my worth is. I was afraid to turn in this paper and be laughed at or just to be told no. I was afraid. I ain't going to lie to you. And ADHD stopped me from doing it. But when I prayed, I knew I had God on my side. And I knew that I was only one win away. And you may be one win away right now. So I prayed. I said to God for the first time ever with tears in my eyes in front of 13 people. I prayed and I prayed it in my head. I didn't even say it out loud. But it was the first time I'd ever asked for something and truly meant it. I said, God, please give me the strength to do what I need to do so that I can get this contract and change my family's life. And I went home that night after this new believers class. And for whatever reason, my brain was just clear. I went on Google, I picked out someone's stuff, I changed some stuff around, and I turned it in. Then I went on about my business. You know why? Because I prayed about it and I just let God have it. People say, just let God take care of it. All the time, I never believed it. But this time, I was listening and I had my faith strong, like my man Cam with Stripe City be said. And I believed that this was the one win that I needed. And so I turned it in and I let God have it. And all of the stress and all of the worry and all of that stuff, it just went away. And it took about a month and a half. And one day I'm sitting on the couch and boom, my phone rings. And it's the guy. It's the guy who gets to decide whether or not I get the contract. And so he calls me. I wake up. Whew. I got up off the couch. I jumped up around. I looked at my phone and then I hit okay. And I accepted the call. And I'm like, hello? I had just woke up. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Your boy was knocked out. But I woke up like I was up and full of life. I said, what's going on? He said, hey, man, listen, here's what was going on. This company was leaving grass clippings everywhere. They were blowing grass on cars. They broke some stuff. They messed up some fences. They were mowing all the way into mid-December. It was crazy. They were doing all of these things. And the whole time I'm not understanding what's going on. He's basically telling me all of these things that this other company was doing because he's prepping me for me to do well. And I'm like, all right, bet. So finally we get to it. So I'm like, did I get it? And he was like, yeah, you got it. And we love what you do. You'll always have it. We won't even look for other bids. That's how cold we think you are. And I said, okay. See, we're only one win away. That one contract afforded me the ability to leave one of my full-time jobs and to go. I went full-time, part-time, if that makes sense. I worked the block shift, so I worked the first 3 days of the week, and the last 3 days of the week, or last 4 days of the week, I was off. And so I went from working two full-time jobs to working one full-time job and basically another 40 to 50 hours a week working in my lawn care business. You're only one win away. Before too long, I did so well with that contract that they asked me to take on more work. And when I took on more work, that afforded me the ability to quit the second job. See, you're only one win away. So I could have quit in the first year. The first time I hit dog poop with a string trimmer, I could have quit. But I knew I was one win away from doing something that would change my family tree for the rest of eternity. And so for the last 10 years, I've been living my dream. And for the last 4 years, I've been sharing the dream that I get to live so that it could inspire, motivate, and maybe even educate someone else out there who has God telling them, you got this, you got this, you got this, but they're still questioning. But when real human beings tell their story and give their testimony, it might just inspire, motivate, maybe even educate someone to believe in themselves so that they can go do the same thing because none of us are special. But some of us get to it and some of us just talk about it. So you're only one win away. I advise you bet on yourself. While you're working your job, create something of your own and start to work on it. Because like my man Jim Rohn says, if you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fine. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fine. So let's work hard on ourselves because we're only that one win away. All right. So go out there and change your life. I hope that you got something from this week's motivation motivational minute. Uh, because you're only one win away. Let's go. Let's win in 2026. All right, let's get to this week's winner of the week. And we have two of them. First, I want to shout out this young man. His name is Tom Griffin from Griffin's Landscaping. It's either Griffin Landscaping or Griffin Lawn Care. I'm pretty sure it's Griffin Landscaping, but he is 19 years old. He started his business when he was 14 or 15. I think this is his fourth year in business. And I just recently did a shop tour with him on yesterday, actually. And so that will be coming out here sometime within the week, the end of this week or beginning of next week or something like that. But this young man purchased a brand new multi-force 34 and a half horsepower Kawasaki engine. He got the brand new one. He also got the mulch force bucket as well as the jack stand. I don't know if that comes with it or not, but he got all of that. He also got a 48-inch grandstand, Toro grandstand as well. And he lives about an hour from me. As I told y'all, I live 15 minutes from Penn Hills Rental. He lives about an hour from me, but he said he had been watching my YouTube videos. He heard how much I talked about Penn Hills Rental. He already liked Toro. And so I guess he called around. He found out they had that new Toro mower and he came and bought two of them. So he bought like I said, a multi-force 60 with the mulch bucket with 34 horsepower, 34 and a half horsepower Kawasaki engine, as well as a 48-inch grandstand. And he is ready to get out there and kill it. And his homeboy, Andrew, who's one hell of a bowler. I mean, my man, we went to zone 28. Cuz was throwing strike after strike after strike. He's the first person I seen beat Big Buckeye. And Big Buckeye so cold. Big Buckeye so cold at bowling. He was bowling left-handed because he got surgery on his elbow on his right hand. And he still bowled like a 188. Big Buckeye's a savage when it comes to that bowling, boy, I tell you. But shout out to my man Tom. He's going to do big things. He also has a Walker mower, and he recently got a 7 by 16 foot enclosed trailer as well. But we'll show you all of that during the shop tour that will be coming out soon. So if you're not subscribed to the Mac Landscaping and Lawn Care YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button now, man. And we could use some more likes. We got some good viewers in here right now, but we could use some more likes, whether you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. That's one of the best ways you can support the show, as well as super chats, super stickers, and channel memberships. We appreciate all of you. Next, we got my man Steve Owen, Steve O of PGH Lawn Care on Instagram, and the Cutting Edge Lawn Care is the name of his business. And Steve O is a beast. Like, he's super. When I think about Steve O, I just think of someone who works hard, who don't take no for an answer, who uh, is a thinker, he is a hustler. This dude is a beast. From 4 years ago when I met him, he hadn't even started his business yet. He bought a $14,000 multi-force. He didn't even have customers yet. And then he paid that off in 75 days. So he went from no customers buying a $14,000 lawnmower to having enough customers to pay that lawnmower off in 75 days. That's 14 grand in 75 days. That's something to be proud of right there. But he ain't stopped there. He also got one of the most fire leaf removal setups that I've seen out there. He got his whole box custom painted. Unbelievable, bro. Steve O's killing it. He got brand new trucks, and now he done went crazy. Steve O done went crazy. He hit me up. I was on an airplane. I was on my texting my man Steve O on an airplane. He was asking me about buying the business. I said, Steve, I got to be honest with you. Just like I'll tell you watching or you listening, I could only speak on what I've done. I can't teach you how to get to $1 million. I can't even teach you how to get to $500,000. All right. But I can get you started and I can get you up to that 100K, 250K, 300K, because that's where I hover around when it comes to what I do in my business. But I've never bought a business before. So he asked me about buying a business. I'm like, bro, I'm eager to learn from what you doing. You know what I mean? I ain't never done that. But he struck a deal with this old fella who wanted to get out of the game. This old fella has a yard. I did a shop tour with Steve. It might have like 14,000 views right now, something like that. But I already did one with him earlier this year. But we gonna have to re-up because now he got a brand new shop. It's called The Edge. It's right on the edge of like one of our rivers. I don't know if it's the Yakagani or the Monongahela, or I know it's not the Ohio. It's one of those two. But it overlooks a river. He got storage containers in there with a whole bunch of equipment. It got new mowers. And not only did he do that, he got a brand new dingo. I mean, Steve-O, he went up to the Hardscape Academy. Shout out to my man Caleb and his wonderful wife Brittany Allman, who do the Hardscape Academy. But he went up there so he could learn how to do paver patios and things like that and learn the hardscaping side. And now I know he is serious about that because he went out and got the dingo. Him and my man Oz, they about to use that thing to make a whole bunch of money. But shout out to Steve-O. He's out here killing it in year 4. I think it's year 4 for him. He's killing it. My man Tom Griffin is also killing it. And so we got to give those guys a round of applause for being this week's winner of the week. And now that brings us to this week's word of the week. My man Marcus Tate sends me a good word as well as a lot of other people. A word of the week to get their week started. And it's crazy this week because it was the anniversary at my church. They were planted 29 years ago. And it's really cool. They celebrated that anniversary over the weekend last week. So I watched it online because I did a shop tour. Excuse me. My goodness gracious. I did a shop tour. So I watched church online as I was on my way, an hour away to go see my man Tom. And they were talking about how my church was planted 29 years ago when our pastors moved from Tulsa, Oklahoma, back to Pittsburgh. And the rest is history. Now, that's where a meetup is at. It's really just a dope environment to be in. But Marcus Tate sends the word of the week this week, and it says, rise and shine. This week's word of the week is plant. Plant is defined to put or set in the ground for growth, to establish or a young tree, vine, shrub, or herb. It can be defined as a factory or a workshop for manufacturing a product. In order to plant anything, you have to prepare. To plant a seed or a plant, you have to prepare the ground so the seed can be sown. When we plant anything, we are looking for what it produces. This can be used for multiple things in life. When we plant our time in business, we're looking for success. When we plant our knowledge in our families, we are looking for them to be successful. Are we planting? The question is, are we planting so that we can see a harvest or production from the planting process? In the season of planting, make sure you plant well and sow fields that plant vineyards, that they may yield a fruitful harvest. That is from Psalms 107:37 in the New King James Version of the Bible. Plant. I heard this this saying one time. I hope I get it right, but it says sometimes when you think that there's dirt all around you, there's not really dirt around you. You're just being planted. When I heard that, I was like, yo, imagine that. Imagine you got all of these things happening around you, right? And they're really just soil because you're being planted so that you can be the strong, rooted being that you're supposed to be, so that you could go out and help other people be strong, rooted, so they ain't tipping over like pine trees every time the wind blows. You got strong roots because you've been planted in good soil and you got good people around you who are also strong, right? And then when the wind blows, you got all those big redwoods all together and they ain't falling no matter how hard the wind blows. So get planted with some good people like the Winning Life family. And if you would like to join the Winning Life family free Facebook group, you can do that. Just search it up, put it down. I will put a link to it in the comment section of this video when the video gets posted. So if you want a family to grow with who's looking to win in life, I invite you to join our Win in Life family. Sign up for some of the Win in Life meetups that we do, whether it's here in Pittsburgh or down at Equip Expo, and get involved with the Win in Life team meetings where we share all of our strategies, our templates, and everything like that. So if that sounds good to you, we would love to have you. We meet every other Thursday for the private Zoom meeting, and it is dope, man. All of us are in there now, are all six-figure businesses, and we're striving to find more people, right, to either get to six figures or to learn so that we can go further together. That's what it's all about. But that is the opening segment. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. My man, Seeds Landscaping LBCOG says, yep, definitely get planted with the Winning Life family. What other comments do we got? You have any flyers when you first started your bit? We'll get to some of that stuff here in a little bit. Shout out to my man Steve Owens. He's watching. What up, Van Vliet? Clean cut lawn care. How you doing, Spence Crisco? Says he won't be there this beware this week. The meeting was last week. All right, so here we go. Now let's talk about the beginning, the first week of the season for us. I'll go over how I've been doing. Let me know. Did you already start your season? Comment down below. Did you already start your season? I'm gonna try and get through this quick, and then I would like to read as many comments as I can, and we will give first comments to the people who do super chats. You will get your questions answered first. So if you really want your question answered, leave that super chat, man. And if you are getting something good from this live that we do twice a week, do me a favor and leave a like, leave a thumbs up, share it with a friend or two. Consider becoming a channel member and consider getting involved in our groups. Let me turn this word of the week thing off. All right, so here we go. So it's the first official day of the season for us. I've done a couple jobs. Me and Pipes cleaned up a tree on Friday, I think it was. No, last Thursday, me and Pipes cleaned up a tree. So that was a nice little boost to the beginning of the season. We had some windstorms that happened where we got about 60, 70 mile an hour winds for like 2, 3 days straight. And so a whole lot of trees have fallen down on our properties. I think like 4 different trees have fallen. So I still have to clean up a small one. We have another one that is leaning into the wood. So that's not pressing, but we'll get to that here in the next week or so to get that cleaned up. So I've had a couple jobs, but we haven't gotten to our rostered people where we're going to start doing our cleanups yet. And so that started today. Captain Jack and I were hoping to get started last week, but it was very hectic with the meetup going on and all of that. So it was a little tough. So we decided to hold off one more week, and now we are in grass mowing season. All of our yards need cut today, but we are doing spring cleanup. So like I said, it was cool. We got there. I got there this morning. Captain Jack was already there. We had to make a couple runs real quick. I had to cut off my rhino hitch, and I got a video coming out about that. But I had to cut my rhino hitch off in the winter because I didn't grease the pin and it seized inside the rhino hitch, and we couldn't get the rhino hitch off to put the spinner on so we could use my solder. It's not really a long story. So I had my machine guy cut it off, and we just got the rest of it out of the hitch. And so this morning I had to run to Lowe's real quick, buy a cheap one. I also got an email saying that the new Rhino hitch is on its way. So shout out to Rhino Hitch. I got the black one this time, which was the one I wanted the first time, but it wasn't available. And so we got the new Rhino hitch coming here. So me and Captain Jack, we had to go up. Oh, my man, my cousin Tymere Brown is in here. What's going on with you, homie? But like I said, me and Jack had to run up to Lowe's this morning. I grabbed a 2.5 inch shank. I wanted to just buy this. There's a sleeve that you can put a 2 inch. I don't know if the hitch. You could put a 2 inch hitch in this thing that makes it bigger so that you can put it in a 2.5 inch thing and use that. I thought Lowe's would have one, they didn't. So I ended up just buying one quickly. It cost like $100 to get the hitch itself, the 2 and 5/16 toe ball, and then the pin. So it cost like $100. Then we got to it. We got out to our first properties, and basically, here's what we did. We went around, we blew all the leaves out. This is how we do our spring cleanups. We blew all the leaves out. Last year, we cut out, I'm pretty sure, 95% of the perennials. We haven't come up on any of our houses yet that we need to go and cut those out before they actually start growing in a lot. Some of my perennials at my house have already started to come back, hostas and peonies and things like that. But we're going around blowing everything out into the yard, then coming around hitting the perimeter of the house with the trimmer. Then we mow, and then if we need to hit the outside because this is the first week, then we will hit the outside. But basically, we're going around picking up any branches, any branches over a half inch. If they under a half inch, I'm telling you right now, we firing them boys up. I ain't got time to be out here in the middle of these gigantic yards picking up sticks that are under a half inch. Well, we just gonna blast them with these blades. I don't care. All right. If you know, you know. Some of y'all don't care either. You just firing them sticks up, especially if you got a shoot blocker. Don't just be blasting sticks and stuff. You ain't got no shoot blocker and you're facing cars and houses. All right. You don't want to be breaking things, just being irresponsible. But we got shoot blockers. All right, so we just firing them little sticks up. But that's basically what we're doing. We're going around picking up sticks, branches, things like that, blowing all the leaves out, trimming up any shrubs that may need trimmed, trimming up any shrubs that may need trimmed, leaf blowouts, and then the first mow of the season. That's basically what a spring cleanup is. Now, if you have questions on pricing, we have $150 minimum for spring cleanups. Plus whatever the mowing price is. And I won't say that for our regular customers, I kind of already know what we got. So I will change those prices up a little bit for them based off of what we actually need to do. But most of the properties are going to be $150 minimum plus whatever their mowing price is for us to go around because everything's going to take longer, right? We be there minimum an hour. So we're trying to do 225 an hour, and so that's how we do it. But yeah, so for that now, I do want to say this year, Captain Jack and I, for the last few years, we've been doing 90 plus properties, and we've been stretched thin. Like we get our 95 properties done by like 3 o'clock at the latest on Friday. And we would start the week, we'd have 25 to 30 properties we do on Monday, and it would taper down from there. The next day be like 21. So we doing like 50 properties in 2 days, and then 40 throughout the rest of the week. Is how it used to be. This year, I decided we need to get our route. We really need to focus on the route density thing because I had so much window time between long drives, and then once you do the long drive, the drive times in between the properties, although it was sort of dense, There wasn't a whole lot of them that where it was like 4 houses in one spot. So it'd be like, you might drive 10 minutes, you might do a big house, you get done with that, there's 2 houses, but they're on separate streets or right around the corner from that. So then you jump back in the car, drive around the corner 5 minutes, park there, do that one. Then I might take the mower, drive it to the next yard. Captain Jack brings the truck, and we do that. So we had about 10 hours total that we were just losing to straight window time. I decided we want to taper it down some. Okay. So this year, we're going to go down from 95 properties to anywhere between 65 and 70 properties. Now, what this will do is it's actually going to make us more profitable. After looking at all the numbers from what I was doing, we were making a profit, but it wasn't what it could be if we were more local and we weren't spending those 10 hours doing all of this driving around to take care of the properties that we were taking care of. And so this year, I don't want to mow 5 days a week because there's really no margin for error, especially now that my kids are school. My daughter's playing school sports now, and they're done at 5. They play at 6:30 and 7. Sometimes she's playing on the weekend. She's about to start travel flag football, and we're getting ready for basketball. So, like, I don't want my weekends to be taken up. Now, again, this is how I do my thing. All right, I'm telling you so you can hear what I'm saying, and then you use that, and then you make whatever adjustments you want to make for what you do, because it's your world and you live in it, and this is my world and I'm living in it. But I'm going to share with you how we've been doing things. So, like I said, we were doing a lot of mowing Monday through Thursday, and then a slighter day on Friday. But if it rained or anything like that, we would miss some yards, or I'd have to work on Saturday, or whatever the case may be. And I just didn't want that to be an issue anymore. So I'm all about stress free lawn care. And I was a little more stressed trying to make sure we got all of those properties done when it came to mowing, that it eliminated us being able to do other things. So we would have a period at the beginning of the year, usually mid February if it's not snowing, all the way up into the beginning of April, where we were just doing mulch installs and things like that. But then once we got to mowing, it was literally almost strictly mowing. That was it. Monday through Friday, we're just doing mow, trim, and blow. And then 2, 3 times a year, we're doing shrub trimming, or if they're on a contract, then we are shrub trimming here and there as we are in our thing in our daily week. But it got to a point where it's like, you know, it rained for 2 days. Now what? Now those properties that didn't get cut on them 2 days, it's now 2 days after that because we're back. And now if you don't get to them, it's like, all right, this was a Tuesday yard. We about to cut it on Friday, but then we're gonna be right back on Tuesday and it ain't gonna need cut. And it would mess everything up. And so again, like I said, you run your business how you want to, but for me, we're gonna go down from the 5 day a week mowing to 1 to 4 days of mowing. Right. That one I really want to do it in 3. And then that gives us Thursday and Friday to do mulch installs, clean outs, other odd jobs, whether it's taking a tree that had fell down or a tree that needs to come down, and me and Piper and Captain Jack go take care of it. But I wanted to give ourselves the ability to do those other jobs, or to just have a 3 day weekend. Me and Captain Jack been kicking ass for the last however many years he's been with me. And when is enough enough? All right. When is enough enough? As long as I have enough to take care of my family, make profit, put money in the bank to save up for later, for that rainy day, that vacation, for that next investment, for kids' college and all of that, then I'm fine. All right. Same with Captain Jack. So again, we wanted to be more profitable by lowering the amount of properties we do, raising our price even a little bit more, and giving even a better quality of service when it comes to what we do. And then open up those doors to be able to do other jobs. Like I be watching my man mow well sometimes, and I think to myself, what if me and Captain Jack went out one day and just did a video. We just went around and found a property, and me and Captain Jack knocked that thing out. I make a video out of it, put it on the internet just cause you can make money that way. Or we got shrub installs, or we got some other type of thing. I have a realtor friend, and when I say realtor friend, he ain't doing 50 and $60,000 houses. He sold a mansion last year. We did the mowing there. We did mulch installs. I can't remember how much the job was. It was like a $4 or $5,000 job. We did in one day. Clean out everything, go get some mulch, bring it in, put some edges down, power wash a little something, something. It was amazing, and it was one day. Well, I had to work on a weekend to do that. Why not be able to do that on Friday when we can sell those jobs? So, like I said, we're going to be going down to a 1 to 3 day week, and then 1 to 2 days where we can do those bigger ticket jobs, mulch, installs, shrubs, leaf cleanups, those type of things, even later in the year. Because I want to focus, like I said earlier, getting on that route density. Um, I'll answer that question in a second. Getting on that route density, cutting out that window time. That's like I said, we were able to cut out 10 hours of window time. That now, when we replace that with more elite focused route density with 5 rounds, 9 rounds, knocking on doors even in my own neighborhood that my friends ain't already servicing. But like I said, that window time was killing us, and so we wanted to alleviate that to free ourselves up to do small landscaping jobs, plant installs, tree pruning, and I'm also going to work on my applicator's license because I'm hearing from our group members, people who are doing those applications. It's just another way to increase the revenue, especially when you want to keep the amount of properties that you're doing on the lower side, sort of like my man Piper does. He does 45 to 50, and then he does tree jobs that are thousands, 2,000, 4,000, 800, 900. We're there for 2, 3 hours, and you make 2,500. Instead of driving around for 3 to 4 hours to make, $500 or 1,000, 1,200. But yeah, so that's what we're doing going going forward. And then last but not least, I did buy a 4 gallon per minute power washer. Now, me and Piper was talking about how we don't have water up at the compound. And so we were talking about how we could get a pressure washer at the compound. And he was doing the math that if we got these big jugs and hooked them to the gutters, and when it rains, it would collect this. And if it was a 2.3 gallon per minute, then we could spray our mowers off for 50 hours or something if the things were full. So we were talking about pressure washers. Well, whenever I first started my business, I was watching all types of YouTubers. So one of the YouTubers I was watching a lot was his name was Justin, and his YouTube channel was called Forever Self Employed. And one of the things that Justin did was power washing. He did other things that were outdoor, but his main primary thing on the channel was him pressure washing things, and he was giving out, what pressure washer to use and giving suggestions on surface cleaners and things like that. And so through watching him, I found out that it's like not about PSI. So you might see a, 3.5 PSI or 3,500 PSI. I don't know. You might see the PSI, but that doesn't really matter. It's really how much water you get. What is the flow rate? And so 2.3 gallons per minute is how much water that pressure washer, no matter what tip you use, can get out. And that's more like a residential style thing. He was talking about commercial ones that are 4 gallon per minute, and that you should get one with a Simpson engine and or Honda engine, and it should be a Simpson power wash or whatever. So I listened to Justin, and I thought to myself, I had already bought the 2.3 gallon pressure washer from Lowe's, a Ryobi one. It was either Lowe's or Home Depot, but I'd already bought one of them. And I thought, hey, you could do a pressure washing business with this. And then I did a pressure washing job. I cleaned a retaining wall, a stone retaining wall in the backyard of a place, and then two like I don't know, cinder block or something like that block pressure washer that we did in the front, and it took forever. I mean, forever. I used this stuff called 30-second cleaner. Now, 30-second cleaner is good for mildew and like outdoor mold and things like that. It's like a bleach or something like that, and you literally spray it on. 30 seconds later, you can spray it off with a regular water hose, but a pressure washer is even better. And so I sprayed this thing down with the 30-second cleaner, and that did its thing. And then it took me about 3-4 hours to do this pressure washing job. I think I charged probably like $200 or something like that. It was crazy, but it took so long because of the 2.3 liter or 2.3 gallon per minute pressure washer. So after I learned that lesson, I said, you know what? This is my philosophy on buying things. I'm gonna try to buy whatever the best thing is, even if I have to wait a little bit longer and save my money up, because I hate double buying things. I'm about to do a video on blade sharpeners. All right. Piper got the All American blade sharpener. I have the RBG 712 blade sharpener. I also had an angle grinder with the 40 or 60 grit pad. I think you could use either one to sharpen blades manually because I learned that from Johnny with Blades of Grass. Then I seen um, Fullerton had the what was it? It was a shitty one. I ain't gonna lie. I even texted him. I even DM'd him. Was like, "Yo, it was an Oregon blade sharpener. That thing is trash. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen my homie Fullerton using it. I ain't know nothing about it. I was like, how much is this? It was like $300. I said, all right, bet. I'm gonna buy one so I can make sure my blades are sharp. This is when I first found out that blades could even be sharpened. I was watching Johnny's channel. He's like, look, this is how you sharpen the blade, and he sharpened the blade in his storage unit with a Milwaukee angle grinder or something like that. And I was like, oh, you can sharpen blades? Cool. So I started to do it. And then I seen Fullerton, like, you could do it faster with this thing. So I was like, all right, bet. So I grabbed the Oregon blade sharpener. That shit was trash. I ain't gonna lie. Don't waste your $300. I even DM'd him. I was like, look, bro, that blade sharpener was trash, bro. He was like, I'm sorry, man. I agree. He's like, I'm sorry, bro. It is what it is. So I was like, all right, bet. I gave it away, gave it to someone. But then I seen the RBG 712. Now that was more expensive. It was like $580 or something like that. The Oregon one was 300. The damn angle grinder I had was like $25 from Harbor Freight or something like that. It was the Bayer or something like that. But that's how I was sharpening the blades at first. But remember, I just said I hate double buying things. So bought the angle grinder. Then I got the Oregon shitty one. Then I got the RBG 712. So I got the RBG 712, and I ain't gonna lie, it sharpened the blades so much better than the angle grinder or whatever. But here's the deal: I ain't know shit about sharpening blades. Just being honest with you. So I was sharpening them till you put your thumb on them, and it felt like a cat's paw, basically. That's what my man Piper said to do. So that's what I started to do. And I sharpen them like that, not knowing that you gotta get the edge, the tip back. You gotta get the tip to be flushing a 30-degree angle again. The tip is the most important part of the lawnmower blade, but my dumb ass ain't know that. So I thought I was sharpening the blades right. Not meanwhile, I've been cutting grass with dull blades for years, and I ain't even know it. And maybe you've been doing it too, and you didn't know it. But I do not like double buying things. So then I went from angle grinder, Oregon, to RBG 712 to the best one. And the best one is the Magnum-Matic 8200 is what I have now. Shout out to my man Garrett Byer, who owns Magnum-Matic, and he showed me how to sharpen the blades and everything. My man Spence Crisco got one. My man Cedric Owens got one. Still Cuts the Best got one. I think Steve-O might be getting one. My Penhills Rental, they grabbed one at my meetup. So it was dope. But again, I don't like to buy over and over and over again. Unfortunately, that's what I did with the blade sharpener, but I don't think I'll have to buy anything else after this one. So like I said, my personal philosophy is buy the best possible thing and wait and save up so you ain't rebuying things later and just wasting that money. Now, the cool thing about the RBG 712 is I got a friend named Tommy. He's gonna be moving up to the compound. Why the anybody up at the compound is gonna buy a blade sharpener is beyond me. We got the best one now. They could use mine whenever they want to, but he wants his own deal. He want to be able to do shit when he want to do stuff. So I'm giving that one to Tommy. Shout out to the 21-year-old Savage. He has been salting my daycare property that we gotta take care of whenever I need him to. And so I figure I'll repay that favor. We don't be paying each other money when we help each other. So Piper don't be charging me money to come help me with a tree. I don't charge Tommy money to go help him with a leaf cleanup, and he don't do that to me either, to help me with some salt or something like that. So I just want to repay him with. He said, asked me what I was going to do with it. I said, "Do you want it?" He said, "Yes." I said, "You got it then, but I got to do a video with it first, just showing you the different blade sharpeners." And the cool thing about the Magnamatic, which is different from the other ones, is it's fully customizable, so you can get it wherever your price point is at. You could just buy the blade sharpener, you could buy the tower that's on there, you could buy the tower that you put the blade balancer on. It's a whole lot of stuff, but they meet you where you're at, and then you can build it out over time. So I rock with the Magnamatic now. Shout out to my boy Cedric who first told me about this thing, and then I went and met Garrett, and I got to see and hear the science behind sharpening the blades. And so now we're out there, man. We out there with samurai swords for this grass, and we about to be out here kicking ass. But does anyone have any thing? My man Willie the Grassman says the Vivor with the RBG grinding wheel. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about that one, but like I said, that's just like the RBG 712. And if you don't know the science behind sharpening blades, I don't care what blade sharpener you use, as long as you sharpen your blades the right way. And that's what I just didn't know. So maybe that Oregon one might have been better had I known how to actually get the blade sharpened, but that one was just difficult to use. Same thing with the angle grinder. You can get what you need to get done, but it's just going to take you for damn ever. The RBG 712, I just didn't know the science behind sharpening blades, and I guess that would be the same as the Vivor one, right? I just didn't know the science behind it. So that one will do it faster than the angle grinder, but nothing does it faster in my experience so far than the Magnamatic one. And I got 3 mowers now, right? And each mower got 3 blades underneath. So that's 9 damn blades. And you got to change them every 5 hours. And we got a ton of blades. And I need them things to be done as fast as possible. Cause I get if it can't happen fast, I'm probably just not gonna do it. And you know what I'm gonna do? I just do what I've been doing. Before I even found out you could sharpen blades, I was just buying new ones every time. When I told my boy John Doyle that, he damn near lost his mind. He said, "You just been buying blades?" I said, "Yeah, I ain't know you could sharpen them." If you don't know, you don't know. And if people don't tell you or they act like, this is why I just be telling y'all the real stuff. Cause I ain't about to act like I'm some genius guru, cause I ain't. I'm learning just like you. And for the first however many years, I ain't even know you could sharpen the blades. It took until I seen that Johnny Blades of Grass video before I was like, what? You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me these get dull? I mean, they only cutting grass. That's how my dumb behind was thinking. All right. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And sometimes you feel like if I ask this question, they're gonna think I'm dumb. So it's better for me to just be quiet. I'm gonna just shut my mouth and maybe someone will give me the clue that I'll be able to figure it out. But what I don't want is for me to say, "Hey, you mean to tell me you could sharpen blades? I ain't know that. They say you've been cutting grass for 5 years. I have been. I ain't know you could sharpen blades. Well, you's a dumbass. And you dumb." And nobody wants that. So I was just stay quiet till I seen the thing. But now I'm like, nah, bruh. I heard Warren Buffett say this. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He said, if we're talking and you say a word and I don't know the word, then the conversation is over at that point. We can't even go further in the conversation because I don't know what that word means. I never heard it before. Now, why wouldn't I say something about that if the conversation has to be done right now? Why wouldn't I tell you that I don't know that word you just said? He said, because when you're young, when he was young, he didn't want to sound stupid. So instead, now he just listening to a conversation he don't know nothing about anymore. What's more stupid? Getting nothing from something that you should be getting something from because you didn't know a word? Or now he says, now if you say a word and I don't understand it, I just stop the conversation right there. I ask you to tell me what that word is. Explain it to me so that I know, so that I could get what I'm supposed to get from this interaction. So that's why I say, at 42 years old, I don't give a damn no more. I just want to help you. And so I just say, look, I didn't know what I didn't know. And if sometimes you don't know something, don't feel like you're dumb for asking. And if someone makes you feel like you're dumb or less than because you asked a question, you know what? I got some sound effects now, but I ain't even gonna use them and just say fuck them. That's how I feel. If you want to make me feel small because you've been doing this a little longer, it makes you feel good to put someone else down. Middle finger to you, bruh or girl, but you won't get that here. All right. I'm just a regular dude from Pittsburgh trying to help someone else go out there and win in life. Okay. And that's what the Win in Life family is all about. So that's my story. Let me see. Let me get to any comments. Let's see. We got this Sir 21 Gold says, Mac, did you pass around flyers when you started and what was the success rate? Do you still do it? Uh Back then I didn't know anything. So no, I did not pass around flyers. I created some, I printed them out and I gave them this is what I actually did. The mailman don't work. He ain't doing my route no more. I don't know if he is even still a mailman, but I had this mailman. I can't even remember his name. He was a heavier fella, but he was at our house all the time. So I was like, "Yo, I just started a lawn care business. Can you give these papers out?" And I don't know. I had probably a stack of 200 of them or something like that. He was like, "Yeah, but I'll do it this time, but you got to go through like the mail, and then they'll give them to us for us to do because you got to pay for it." But he went around and he gave them out, and I didn't think he was gonna give them out. I gave him $50, and he gave them out for me, and I probably got out of those 200. I'm just guessing when I say two, it might have been 100. I probably got one or two calls from it, and nothing ever happened from it. So me personally, no, I didn't, and I didn't pass things out because I just didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know about 5 or 9 rounds. All I thought about was let me get business cards. But you know how long it takes for people to know who you are based off a business card? That's why I always advocate for people to get on Google before you do anything else. Before it is so important to be on Google, get yourself some ratings, some 5-star ratings, and try to shoot higher up on the Google ratings in your area has been the most successful thing for me. But there's guys like my man Spence Crisco, my man Dominique Wynn, my man Chris with my man Rick with CR Lawns, Wisconsin, where they got door hangers, they got print marketing, and they're out there doing it. Spence Crisco is lighting it up right now. He got like 112 or something like that customers. He at one point he was getting like 4 to 5 a day calls and leads and things like that. So my man, yeah, try everything, bruh. Here's the deal. If it just because it didn't work for me or it didn't work for someone else, does not mean it won't work for you. You got to try things. All right. You got to try things on your own. right? Now, I can say what I want to say, but the only way we're actually going to know for you and what you do is for you to actually go out there and do it. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to make some money. Okay. So yeah, that's how my man Spence Crisco says he got 5 new yards today. All right, today. And he's one of the group members. He's a team meeting member. And yeah, I love the fact that he's out here killing it. Let's see, we got anything else? I appreciate you reposting that question too, by the way. Um, Sir Goals. Do we have any more questions before I get ready to shut this down? He says the reason this is from Sir 21 Goals again. He says the reason I ask is today I put a flyer in the door of one house and just an hour ago the owner sent me a text cussing me out and call and whoa, let me get that comment down. Calling him out his name. Hey bruh, that's gonna happen sometimes. Don't put anything on people's houses that says no solicitation. Don't put things in people's mailboxes or on people's mailboxes. I would even stay away from the newspaper box. Like, don't put stuff on people's mailboxes. But listen, man, sometimes putting those flyers on people's doors is like Russian roulette. Sometimes you're gonna get the bullet, right? But it's how you handle it. I'll tell you a quick story before I get out of here. You're in the, you are in the customer service business. I'll keep saying this every time something like this comes up. We are in a customer. You may cut grass, you may do mulch, you may do power washing or house cleaning or hardscaping or something. And yeah, you're part of the green industry. You're in the industry. But no matter what it is that you do, what service that you provide, your main service is customer service. So even though you got cussed out, make sure that we are handling those situations with as much professionalism as you can. As long as someone's not spitting on you or putting their hands on you, you can always walk away. You can always bite your tongue, right? You can always do that. Now, some of us didn't grow up that way. Whenever I was a kid, my dad told me plain and simple. I'll never forget this. I was probably like 5 years old. He said, if they disrespect you, you disrespect them back. And I had been living my life like that. Now, I'm not saying how I grew up, when I grew up, that wasn't good advice to a kid trying to survive where I grew up at. However, when you're a business owner, you can't be like that. So I've been living my entire life like that. It didn't matter. You could be old. You disrespect me, you could be a teacher. You disrespect me, I'm disrespecting you back. Or if I perceive what you've done is disrespectful, I'm going to be disrespectful too. But we are in a customer service business, right? So here's a story. And I've told it before on Lawn Care Power Moves. I've also told it on this show probably before. But since we are in a customer service business, you always have to maintain good customer service. They say the customer is always right, and that isn't necessarily true. But if you operate under that premise, you will have more pleasant encounters than you do negative ones. And so for me personally, it was a year where we had a drought. All right. So me and Captain Jack is out there. I had a grandstand 52-inch at the time with twills on it and a John Deere 648R quick track. Now 48-inch commercial mower. Captain Jack used the 48-inch mower. I used to use the Toro. So I had this old couple. I mean, they're probably 90 years old. A lady and a gentleman. Every time we cut the yard, they would always leave a ice cold, and I mean ice cold Coca-Cola outside. Now, I don't even really drink pop too much. If you call it soda, we call it pop here in Pittsburgh. So I would always give him the Captain Jack, and every now and then I would drink one. But we had a terrible drought this year, and we were weekly mowing all the way up until the last week of like June. No, it wasn't the last week. We were weekly mowing, and then at the end of May, it just like stopped raining and it got 90 degrees. And it was hot like that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we didn't get any rain. So we cut the yard up until 3 weeks before the 4th of July. So now we've been driving past the houses, and because it's so hot, they're barely growing. We're not cutting them because we didn't want to burn them out. They're all stressed out. So we drive past first week. We ain't cut the property. We drive past the second week. We didn't cut any of the properties, right? We drive past the third week. We ain't cut any of the properties. Now it's the fourth week, and it's about to be the 4th of July. And the 4th of July happens to be on a Saturday this particular year. So we're driving past, and now I'm like, all right, the grass is hot, but it's the 4th of July. And people are gonna want their grass cut. They ain't gonna want to be you know, people in the yard, and you got some of the weeds have like I don't know what weed it is, but it has like a shoot on it, and then it has like white flowers at the end. And that stuff was popping up all over yards. It was like the only thing that could grow was weeds. So I'm like, do we cut it? Do we not cut it? It's the 4th of July. We get to these old people's house, and I'm like, all right, Jack, we gonna cut it. All right. We ain't gonna have to do too much trimming, but we just gonna cut it real quick. Make sure that the yard's nice and it's striped up, even though the stripes ain't gonna be deep green like they normally would be. At least the grass ain't gonna be long. These weeds will be cut down. They can have a nice thing. So I cut the backyard, which was down two hills. There was like a slope like this. All right. Now, if you're not watching live, we do the show every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. But the hill's like this. So I go down to the bottom. I'm on the bottom of the hill. I'm cruising. I'm having a good old time listening to my music. I'm on my grass cutting go-kart. We out here cutting grass, kicking ass. You know how it goes. And I'm dancing on the thing, listening to probably some ET the hip hop preacher, or some other motivational video I'm listening to, and I see the customer. He comes down, he's at the top of the double hill. So I see him. I still boom. Turn around, I come back down. He's still up there. He's waving. I thought he was just waving to say hi because he was always so nice. So he's waving. So boom. I look up, I wave back to him. I keep on going. Turn around, come back, turn around again. Now he's waving to me to come up to him. Come up here. So bet. Boom. I drive the mower up the double hill real quick. Boop, boop, boop. I get up there, I hop off the mower. I'm like, what's going on? Took my headphones off. I had these Sony WX1000s or something like that back then. I popped them up on top of my hat. I'm like, what's going on? I ain't gonna say his name. I'm like, what's going on? How you doing, boy? He went bananas. I'm talking about, what the F are you doing? You broke landscaper, blah, 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 blah. You just need effing money. I mean, I was like, yo, what in the world? This old man is like that? I mean, what was he like when he was young if he's like this when he's old? My goodness gracious. He's cussing me out. I'm talking about smooth cussing me out. You dumb landscapers, you need. The yard was $40. All right. The yard was $40. My dad told me when I was a little kid, he said, I don't care if they old, if they disrespect you, you disrespect them back. And if they keep going, come and get me. I'm 5 years old. My dad is Superman. My dad 5'6". He was a beast though. He was known, and don't mess with that guy, right? So boom, I'm living my whole life like that. So now I got this 90-year-old man. You dumb MF and blah 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 blah, and you need this $40. At this point, Now, first 2 years, he was right. I did need that $40. I needed it bad. Not bad enough to let anybody just talk crazy to me, but this was in year 4. Year 4, your boy was cooking. I'm talking about cooking. He was killing it, me and Captain Jack. Now I don't need your little $40, bruh. Let's make that clear right now. Let me know if you relate. So someone ever tell you like, "Nah, you're doing this for this," and you like, boy, I got 90 yards. Yours do not matter. I do not care about your yard when I gotta deal with you acting like this. All right. But this old man, you know, he said that to me. What I didn't know, he had already cussed out Captain Jack. He had cussed he had he had already cussed Captain Jack out. He had got off the mower. He ain't even finished cutting the front yard. He just went and got the trimmer and started edging the sidewalks and everything. So now Cuz was like, you need this $40, blah blah blah. And I said, "You think I care about your little $40? I don't give a F about that $40, bruh." And I talked back to him like he was my age, like we was, in middle school about to fight over the chocolate milk and him cutting me in line for the chicken patty, right? And I'm right back at cuz I don't care how old you are now. You disrespected me. My dad taught me this, right? So I cussed him out right back, didn't care, felt like I was like I did something. I go home, I tell my wife the story. Hey, I was whatever. You know what I mean? This dude, he cussed at me. He was 90 years old. She said, "What you do?" I said, "What you mean what I do?" I cussed him right back out. And she just shook her head like, "Oh my God. What do you mean? You can't just be cussing people out. You own a business now. What do you mean?" I said, "He disrespected me." So I disrespected him back. She said, "Come on, man. Do we do things like we used to do things, or we do things with excellence?" Remember, I said at the beginning of this, we are in the customer service business. Does it mean the customer's always right? No. Should that guy have cussed me out? No. He shouldn't have. But should I cuss back at him and try to act like I'm some gangster now or whatever to a 90-year-old man because I felt like he disrespected me? Or could I have just been like, "I'm sorry." His gripe, he was mad because he thought we were going to burn the grass out. So he never said to me why he was cussing me out. After after I cussed back at him, I ain't gonna lie, he did pipe back down. He was like, "Oh, I ain't realized this was an option that he might come back at me like this. I'm 90 years old. I thought I'd just say whatever I want and he wouldn't say nothing." Well, he found out that was wrong, but it did bring his level back down, right? So afterwards, he says, "I'm sorry." He actually didn't apologize in the moment. He did say, "Go ahead and finish cutting the yard." Okay. So we leave. And then later that day, I tell my wife the story, and she's like, "You can't do that, blah, 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 blah." She basically chastised me, changed my mind about some stuff, right? But here's the funny thing: the next week, it rained. We go to cut the yard. He was out there again. This time they had Pepsis. His wife made him call me to apologize. So the same thing my wife did and chastising me and being like, "You shouldn't have done that," and whatever, "What are you thinking?" Blah, 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 blah. Put me in my right frame of mind. He must have went in and told his wife, or she actually witnessed it happen and she chastised him. So he called me to apologize. And then the next week when we came to cut the grass, they actually had Pepsis outside because I had told them we really like Pepsi instead. So they had Pepsis outside, and then he came out and he apologized to Captain Jack. I cut their yard for like another 2 years after that. And then when we just raised our price from $40 minimum up to 55, we had to move on from that property. But like I said, we are in a customer, if I'll leave that as the last shot. We are in the customer service business. You're not in the whatever business that you're in. You're not in the lawn care business. You're not in the power washing business. You're not in the green industry business. You are in a customer service business, right? So if I could give you anything going into 2026 for this particular show that's going to help you to be successful this year, is just to know that we are in the customer service business. And if you make sure your customer is taken care of, that they're happy, then they will continue to be a blessing to you as you are being a blessing to them. Co-symbiotic or symbiotic relationship, right? You do good for me, I do good for you. Now we're both doing good, we're both winning, we're both happy, we're both winning in life. That's what it's all about. But yeah, so that's my story. PGH Lawn Care is in the building. Devin Jacobs says, just found your channel, brother. Love your page. You've been helping me to see my vision of farming and lawn care more fully. You're showing me what's possible, and I appreciate your work and your efforts. Well, I appreciate you, Devin Jacobs, and I'm happy that I could be a small help in your journey of owning a farm and doing lawn care. That's dope, man. I look forward to hearing about all your victories, all the wins that you have, and yeah, that's dope, man. I'm happy for you. I'm also happy for my man Steve. I'm happy for and the new things that he has going on, being a winner of the week this year or this week. I'm happy for my man Tom, who is looking to do big things, and I'm happy for you, the person watching, the person listening to this right now, the person who plans on sharing this to help someone else later. I'm proud of you, because if you're watching this, that means you have either gotten started, you've been started, maybe you're in your first or second or third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 20th year, or you're thinking about getting started. And that's the first step to making your dreams become a reality. Is first you have to think it, then you take action, and then you execute, and then you get that thing that you desire. So I look forward to talking to you as this season progresses and we talk about more things, we learn things together. And like I said, as always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. Consider joining the Winning Life Family Facebook group. Consider joining the Winning Life Team meeting group that we meet on Zoom every other week. And make sure that you're striving to be your best self. Don't just let people tell you what to do. Listen to them, listen to others, do your own investigation, and then you make the best decision for yourself. But as always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And remember, the Creator created you to be creative. So get out there and create whatever you want in your life, because you deserve it. I'm out. Peace.